Piccaninnies, talking about black people with watermelon smiles, calling little black children who practiced their little hearts out and then performed a welcome song for you. A welcome song for you and your group, and you call those little black children AIDS-ridden choristers? And now you have the gall to try to take up for those black soccer players that have been getting ridiculed by your racist citizens, all because y'all lost. The same black men you berated because they wanted to take a stand against racism, and now you want to defend those black men? Shout out to Kwame Brown. I do not accept your apology. Hey, Brother Kwame, it looks like the disrespect of certain black athletes is worldwide, but we gonna get into it. Oh yeah, we gonna talk about it. So without further ado, let's go. London's Metropolitan Police said on Monday that they would investigate offensive and racist social media comments being directed towards footballers following the game which England lost to Italy after 3 players, Marcus Rashford, pictured far left, Jadon Sancho, pictured center, and Bukayo Saka, pictured far right. All 3 of those players missed penalty kicks in that game. Team manager Gareth Southgate can be seen here consoling a distraught 19-year-old Mr. Saka after Italy's goalkeeper saved his kick. Southgate shouldered the responsibility for the loss, saying he made the substitutions that sent 2 of the young players onto the field only minutes before the end of extra time to face the immense pressure of a penalty shootout. He says, "We decided to make the changes near the end of the game and we win and lose together as a team. That was the order that we came to, but that was my call." So then after the game, a bunch of incel, antisocial, idiot, racist trolls decide to flood these guys' social media accounts showing their true colors, who they really, really are, calling them monkeys, calling them the N-word, all for what? Because you lost. A bunch of sad, sorry, sore losers are upset, and then they take their anger and frustration out on these 3 guys. In what world does any of this make any sense whatsoever? And then, to add insult to injury, 2 hours before the game, hundreds of people decided they were going to breach the security barrier and squeeze through the turnstiles without tickets. The security guards, police, some of the police were on horseback. They tried to hold back the crowd, but they appeared powerless to stop them from swarming the grounds. This was yet another case and another cause of criticism for this police department that has come under fire recently for a series of tactical blunders and questionable conduct. This is all according to the New York Times. The racist attacks, the likes of which have long plagued European soccer, drew immediate condemnation from leaders, including Prince William, who is president of England's Football Association, Home Secretary Priti Patel, and also Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Now, Boris Johnson and Priti Patel have been branded as hypocrites for condemning the racist abuse of England's footballers after their previous stances on tackling racism. Labour seized on the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary having failed to support the team taking the knee before games, alleging they had given license to racists. Former footballer Gary Neville accused Boris Johnson of having promoted racism in his notorious newspaper article about Muslim women looking like letterboxes. And England player Tyrone Mings, talking about Priti Patel, suggests that she was only pretending to be disgusted by racism aimed at his fellow squad members. He says, "You don't get to stoke the fire at the beginning of the tournament by labeling our anti-racism message as gesture politics and then pretend to be disgusted when the very thing we're campaigning against happens," he wrote on Twitter. Former England rugby international Hugo Monnier echoed Ming's comments by saying, "You didn't back our team or condemn anyone for booing a peaceful protest. You facilitated and validated antisocial and racist behaviors during the tournament. The horses bolted, Priti." The criticism came after the Prime Minister said England's team should be lauded as heroes, not racially abused, tweeting, "Those responsible for this appalling abuse should be ashamed of themselves." But ironically, before the tournament, Boris Johnson initially refused to criticize the fans booing the players for taking a knee, while Patel supported their right to boo what she calls gesture politics. Now, Angela Rayner, who is Labour's deputy leader, says, "Let me be clear. The Prime Minister and the Home Secretary gave license to racists who booed the England players and are now racially abusing England players. Those two, meaning Johnson and Patel, are like arsonists complaining about a fire they poured petrol on. Total hypocrites." Mr. Neville, who is now actually a TV analyst, says, "When we get racist abuse after a football match at the end of a tournament, I expect it, unfortunately, because it exists. And it's actually promoted by the Prime Minister, who called Muslim women letterboxes, said they look like letterboxes." Mr. Neville goes on to say, accepting and validating that players who take the knee are promoting equality and inclusion and defending against racism. It's coming from the very top. You know full well that if your parents do something, your children will follow. Mr. Neville contrasted the leadership skills of the England manager Gareth Southgate with the Prime Minister Boris Johnson, saying that they are absolutely poles apart, adding, "You can be a leader and a gentleman. You can be ruthless, but have empathy and compassion." Following England's defeat to Italy in the Euro 2020 final, police are investigating offensive and racist social media comments being directed towards players from an ethnic minority background. So Prime Minister Johnson has since apologized for referring to Black people as Piccaninnies and talking about watermelon smiles. But again, I don't accept his apology. I don't believe for 1 second that that man was sincere in his apology, nor do I believe he genuinely cares about how those young men feel. I know those idiot incel racist internet trolls don't care, that's for damn sure. But for that man to speak on Black people and Muslim women the way he did with no hesitation is really telling of the type of world we live in. Their coach was in the same situation, a similar situation, when he played for England in '96, and he missed the penalty kick at the end of the game just like young Saka did. Needless to say, he did not receive this sort of backlash. We need to encourage these young men and let them know how proud of them we are. Encourage them to keep fighting and keep getting better. You never know how much you can damage one's psyche by the words you choose, especially if those hateful words are deeply rooted in you. Please like, share, and comment your opinion. And as always, until next time, subscribe to stay in the know. Peace.